The Young and the Restless spoilers Wednesday, December 10th, Noah and Audra's reunion. Sally prepares, Victor attacks. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, to have a run-in with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, and Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson. Prepare for the launch party. Plus, Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, puts his plan in motion. Keep reading. And let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Make sure to check out our weekly Y&R spoilers here. Noah Newman's run-in. Let's start with Noah. The young man will be back in Genoa City along with Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case. Noah will very quickly have a surprising encounter. It will be with his former flame from London, Audra. As fans know, the two were romantically involved in London. They were both artists as well. Noah said previously he broke up with Audra because all she cared about was business and she had sold her soul, or something to that effect. Later, Audra told Noah that they got pregnant, but she lost the baby. So, it will be interesting to see the two interact when they see each other after all these years. I wonder if that miscarriage has something to do with the real secret between Audra and Holden Novak, Nathan Owens. Read more. Find out what happened on the last episode of Y&R. Jack Abbott braces. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and the rest of the family will take precautions to protect Jabot. The best idea Jack can come up with is taking Jabot offline for a few months. Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, dealt with the money transfers and also helped Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, dig for dirt on Victor. So far, they haven't come up with any dirt, though. Victor Newman attacks. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Victor used the AI program in a heroic way to save Noah and Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun. However, now that the two hostages are safe, it's back to business for Victor. Once back in Genoa City, expect Victor to put his plan of attack in motion. However, it could be for nothing if Jack has successfully taken everything offline. I wonder if this could cause a problem in Victor and Nikki Newman's Melody Thomas Scott. Jack confided in Nikki about his plan. If Victor finds out Nikki knew and kept it from him, it could cause some issues. Sally Spectra's launch party. There is also Sally and Billy's launch party. The couple will prepare and make sure everything is lined up for the big event. However, I have a feeling that something is going to happen. The clue was when Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, said the party would be boring and tedious. In soaps, the opposite usually happens, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Wednesday, December 10th, 2025? Today's shockwave in Genoa City, The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Genoa City is a powder keg ready to blow on Wednesday, December 10th, as old rivalries explode into high-tech warfare, and a surprise reunion throws a dangerous wrench into a young man's life. The legendary battle between the Newmans and the Abbotts reaches a perilous new peak, while a ghost from the past returns to haunt the present, threatening to unravel everything. Get ready for a deep dive into the most shocking developments of the day. Victor attacks. The war on Jabot goes nuclear. The mustache is back, full supervillain mode engaged, and this time he's not just playing games. Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, is launching a full-scale assault on Jabot, and his weapon of choice is a terrifying piece of technology, the sophisticated and highly malicious AI program he acquired from the recently disgraced Kane Ashby. The green light for chaos. Victor, a man who sees any perceived slight as a declaration of war, has finally had enough of the Abbott dynasty. Intelligence from his son, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, confirmed that Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and his family were attempting to shut down Jabot's systems in a desperate measure to shield themselves from the digital threat. This move, however, only solidified Victor's resolve. Jack believes he can outsmart the great Victor Newman? Fool! All he has done is prove how vulnerable he is. The time for talking is over. Launch the program. I want Jabot on its knees by sundown. Victor's voice booms across his office, his eyes alight with a terrifying glee. This is more than just a business acquisition attempt. It's an act of utter professional humiliation. Victor is utilizing the AI to systematically target and cripple every facet of Jabot's operation, from its global supply chain management to its proprietary formulas and financial records. He wants to not only take over the company, but utterly destroy the Abbott legacy, leaving Jack with nothing but the ashes of his father's empire. The Abbott countermeasures. Too little, too late? Across town, the tension at Jabot is suffocating. Jack, Diane, Susan Walters, and Kyle, Michael Mueller, huddle in the boardroom, watching their company's digital heartbeat flatline as they enact their emergency plan. The shutdown. The Abbotts are executing a total company system shutdown, a massive, costly operation designed to cut off all external access points. The big question, did they move fast enough? The chilling possibility remains that Victor's AI, a program designed by Kane to be virtually undetectable, may have already embedded itself too deeply, lying dormant like a digital cancer, ready to reactivate the moment they try to boot their systems up again. Jack, ever the pragmatist, tries to maintain a facade of calm, but the worry lines etched into his face tell the real story. "We did everything we could, Diane," he whispers, "but Victor with that AI, he's a weapon of mass destruction. We're just trying to survive the blast." The looming threat will cast a massive shadow over the rest of the day, particularly over the biggest social event on the horizon. Sally prepares the launch party countdown. Amidst the corporate cataclysm, Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, are making last-minute preparations for the Abbott Communications launch party. This event is meant to be a phoenix rising from the ashes of their last sabotaged attempt, a testament to their resilience and business savvy. The second chance. The atmosphere at the venue is a nervous blend of excitement and frantic energy. Sally, in a stunning power dress, paces back and forth, ensuring every detail is perfect. This isn't just a party, it's her professional validation and a fresh start with Billy. "This is it, Billy," Sally says, smoothing out a wrinkle in the tablecloth. "No more Kane, no more surprises. We're going to wow Genoa City tonight. This is our success story." Billy, though putting on a confident face for Sally, is visibly tense. His brother Jack's fight with Victor is the only thing on his mind, and he knows that Victor sees their new venture as an easy, satisfying secondary target. The question isn't if Victor will interfere, but how and when. A tense truce, Sally and Audra. A shocking moment unfolds at the venue when Sally is forced to have a tense one-on-one with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. Audra, a complicated figure in the Genoa City business scene and a potential future asset, is an unexpected attendee. Sally, ever the savvy operator, pulls Audra aside with a warning cloaked as encouragement. "Audra, you're here, and that's good for appearances. But let's be clear, this is our night. No scenes, no drama. Victor is circling like a vulture, and if anything goes wrong, I will know who is to blame. Play nice, and maybe, just maybe, I can find a place for you in the Abbott Communications full down the line." Audra's reaction is a smirk that suggests compliance, but her eyes betray a deeper, possibly more manipulative, game plan. She assures Sally that the party will be a success, but the interaction leaves a knot of worry in Sally's stomach. Is Audra truly an ally, or is she just waiting for the perfect moment to capitalize on the chaos Victor is about to unleash? Noah and Audra's reunion, the ghost of London past. The true emotional earthquake of the day arrives with the long-awaited return of Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, to Genoa City. Fresh from a terrifying ordeal in Los Angeles that left him hospitalized, Noah is finally home, but he hasn't returned alone. A complicated homecoming. Noah has brought Sienna Bacall to Maribron with him, a move born out of his protective instinct. Sienna is fleeing the escalating danger posed by her volatile, estranged husband, the notorious villain Matt Clark, Roger Howarth. Noah, determined to keep her safe, promises her security under the Newman umbrella. Despite the obvious reservations of his parents, Nick, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Case. They are wary of Sienna's complicated history and the inevitable arrival of the vengeful Matt Clark in their city. The unexpected collision. Just when Noah is settling into the perceived safety of his hometown, he runs into the last person he expected, or perhaps the person he had desperately hoped to avoid, Audra Charles. The reunion is a masterpiece of awkward, unresolved tension. The setting, the GCAC, a hub of Genoa city drama, provides the backdrop. The first look, Noah, still slightly fragile from his recent trauma, locks eyes with Audra, and a lifetime of shared history and regret flashes between them. Audra's reaction. She approaches him with an expression of genuine concern, focusing on his recent accident and well-being. Noah, I was so worried when I heard about the hospital. I'm glad to see you on your feet. Her worry is real, but it's mixed with the residual sting of their painful breakup in London. Noah's evasion. Noah is guarded, choosing to only share the surface-level details of his recovery. He deliberately avoids mentioning the deep, dark secrets they share, especially the one about the miscarried child Audra never told him about until after he dumped her. This is the secret wound that has haunted both of them, and Noah's silence suggests he's not ready to face the full weight of his past actions. The dangerous crossroads. This unexpected run-in is a ticking time bomb. Noah is attempting to start a new life and protect Sienna, yet his emotional history with Audra has just walked back into his present. The tension is palpable. Sienna's threat. Matt Clark's eventual arrival in Genoa City is a guarantee, fueled by revenge against Noah. The Allie question. Noah admitted to his parents that things weren't great with Allie, Kelsey Wong, his current love interest, which is why he took on the mission to protect Sienna. His connection with Sienna is already sparking concern. Audra's unfinished business. Audra is a woman who rarely forgives and never forgets. Her past with Noah, which included a devastating loss he walked away from, makes her an unpredictable and potentially dangerous wild card. The question now is how long it will be before Audra discovers Sienna is not just a friend, but a woman Noah feels compelled to protect. And when she does, will the pain of her past drive her to a new level of emotional warfare that could complicate Noah's already fragile new reality? The looming midweek firestorm. Wednesday, December 10th, is not just another day in Genoa City. It's a confluence of personal and professional conflict set to ignite a firestorm. Victor's attack on Jack. The corporate giant is flexing his digital muscle, threatening to destabilize the entire Abbott empire. The question is not only whether Jack can save Jabot, but who on his own team might crack under the immense pressure. Sally and Billy's fragile hope. Their launch party is the calm before the storm. Will Victor crash the event with a public declaration of war, humiliating his rivals on their big night, or does he have an even more sinister plan for the rising star, Sally Spectra? Noah's dangerous triangle. The reunion with Audra, layered over his protective relationship with Sienna and the shadow of the vengeful Matt Clark, creates a volatile emotional triangle. Noah has just flown out of one danger zone, only to walk directly into another of the heart's making. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Lily's feelings intensify, and Kane's deceitful game heats up. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, continues to interact with Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. Co-parenting matters, increasingly, isn't the reason why she's giving him the time of day either. Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, appeared to be the woman Kane was shifting his attention to in recent weeks. Anyone would believe that he was falling under her spell. But as Kane revealed to Lily, it's part of his game. Kane believes that Phyllis hacked Arabesque's computer system and stole his artificial intelligence weapon. She has repeatedly looked him in the eyes and denied doing so, with the audience shaking its collective head, knowing every response was a lie. Lily Winters is open to redemption. Lily has remnant feelings for Kane. She should be believed when saying that the currency of love isn't something that exists. However, The history she shares with her children's father is undeniable, as is her attraction to him. Kane was the love of Lily's life. He may always hold that position in her heart. But his status is tenuous because of issues that happened after the Aristotle Dumas reveal. Khalil is pregnant in scenes that are currently being shown. So, it feels like Lily is being written to a dramatic pause in the near future. Phyllis's involvement with Kane looks like the reason why Lily will choose to take a break from Genoa City, Wisconsin, in the not-too-distant future. Phyllis Summers appears to have a bigger plan. Phyllis has no qualms about having stolen Kane's AI program. She leveraged the power that the digital weapon gave her as well. Going straight to Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, was a bold move. On the surface, it also seemed foolish. Why give him, of all people, the power to destroy the legacy businesses of people whom Phyllis cares about? Just as Kane is playing coy with Phyllis, she could plausibly be withholding an ace in the hole. If she puts some form of tracker on the program before giving it to Victor, then a setup is in play. If not, then the deal she has with him to become head of Jabot will likely lead to nothing permanent or worthwhile. But Kane Ashby went too far. Kane wanted to meet privately with Lily so he could tell her that his public meetings with Phyllis are part of a plan. He's attempting to prove that she's the AI thief. But Kane is holding back something that would disgust Lily. He went too far when cavorting with Phyllis in a suite at the Genoa City athletic club he owns. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, to have a run-in with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. That dirt, when revealed, should shock and negatively impact Lily's perception. Her emotions have run the gamut since he first revealed himself at the chateau in the south of France this summer. Learning that he chose to take his game to that low level could be the moment that compels Lily to take an extended leave from GC and more directly run from Kane. This site is a leading source for everything linked to the Young and the Restless. Check back regularly for YNR spoilers and news. Today's shocking news from Genoa City. Lily's feelings intensify, and Kane's deceitful game heats up. Get ready, Genoa City faithful, because the saga of Lily Winters and Kane Ashby, the couple affectionately known as Lane, has exploded into a new, heart-wrenching, and shockingly deceptive chapter. For months, fans have watched with bated breath as Kane, fresh off his dramatic re-entry into town as the mysterious billionaire Aristotle Dumas, desperately tried to win back his ex-wife. Lily, reeling from the aftermath of the Dumas fiasco and the loss of her loved ones, has played it cool. All logic, no emotion. But today the dam finally breaks. This is not the story of a simple reunion. It's a high-stakes, gut-punching tale of rekindled love crashing headfirst into corporate espionage and breathtaking personal betrayal. Lily is finally succumbing to the undeniable pull of her first love, just as Kane's complex web of deceit, involving the fiery Phyllis Summers and the ever-present threat of Victor Newman, threatens to unravel everything. The chessboard is set, and the sacrifice is Lily's heart. Lily's emotional breaking point, the confession that changes everything. For months, Lily Winters' Crystal Khalil has been the picture of measured resilience. The wounds from Kane's Billy Flynn return, disguised as a wealthy mogul involved in the corporate chaos that led to tragedy, were too deep. Her public stance was unwavering, no second chances. Every apology, every earnest plea from Kane was met with a cool, corporate dismissal. She aligned herself with Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, to expose Kane's schemes, tried to move on with Damien, Jermaine Rivers, and vowed to protect her children and her legacy at all costs. Yet, a look behind the scenes reveals a different, more vulnerable truth. The search results confirm what fans have long suspected. Deep down, Lily has been unable to completely silence the Lane connection. August spoilers whispered of it. Lily's struggling with memories of Kane, unable to ignore their intense, complicated past. September spoilers highlighted her conflict. Lily urging Kane to come clean, unable to believe his denials, indicating a desperate need for honesty over a desire for total severance. Today's shocking reveal centers on the fallout from Kane's current, volatile entanglement with Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. Seeing Kane and Phyllis emerge from the GCAC, laughing and clearly having spent the night together, a scene one spoiler described as Lily's breaking point, was the trigger. It wasn't the first time Lily had walked in on them, but this time the emotional impact was different. The intensity of her feelings, the shock of jealousy, Lily's denial that she was a jealous ex-wife was hollow. The sheer fury that erupted when Phyllis taunted her was the unmistakable, white-hot heat of a woman whose territory has been invaded. She wasn't angry because her enemy won. She was angry because her man allowed himself to be won. The confrontation, Lily's subsequent, private confrontation with Kane, was not about business. It was about the years of history they share. She threw his trail of broken promises back in his face, not as an executive, but as a wife who gave everything. This moment wasn't a warning. It was a desperate plea for him to choose the path of integrity and her. The realization, when Kane not only defended his night with Phyllis but doubled down, claiming his desire for Phyllis was genuine. Even if it was a lie, it shattered Lily's carefully constructed emotional wall. She finally processed the most painful truth. Kane is no longer choosing her, even as an option. This realization, this deep, soul-crushing loss, paradoxically intensifies her buried feelings. She now knows, undeniably, how much she still wants him, and the price of that want is the very thing that broke them. His relentless pursuit of chaos. This isn't Lily moving on. It's Lily realizing the depth of her addiction to Kane, a love that has survived faked deaths, prison sentences, and now, global conspiracies. The emotion is intensifying not because he's a good man, but because he's her impossible man, and losing him to Phyllis, a woman she despises, is a fate she suddenly cannot bear. Kane's deceitful game heats up, the Phyllis gambit. While Lily is wrestling with her heart, Kane's mind is locked in a cold, calculating game of corporate and personal survival. His recent actions, the seduction and subsequent betting of Phyllis, were not a genuine attempt to move on, but a devastatingly cynical move in his ongoing war with Victor Newman and, more recently, a new battle with a double-crossing Phyllis. The game plan. The AI trap. Kane's primary objective has been to recover the AI software stolen from his company, Arabesque. He suspected Phyllis was involved in giving it to Victor, who then used it to gain corporate leverage. Source 1.1.2. Seduction as espionage. Kane initiated the romance with Phyllis not for passion, but to gain access to her laptop and retrieve the incriminating files or the AI itself. He convinced her his desire was real, but the truth was revealed in a shocking spoiler. Kane was the one driving the seduction plot, trying to hack her computer while she was in the shower. Source 3.3. His muttered words, "You messed with my systems. Now it's time for me to mess with yours," confirmed the calculating nature of his betrayal. The new alliance, the game has now dramatically shifted. Phyllis, realizing she was being used, turned the tables by denying she stole the AI. Source 1.1. This refusal, described as Phyllis's final betrayal, pushed Kane to his breaking point. His heartbroken fury has hardened into a mission. All-out war. Kane has now declared all-out war on Phyllis. His goal is no longer just retrieving the AI. It's to sabotage every opportunity Phyllis tried to seize, especially her goal of taking control of Jabot. Source 1.1. He is making a new alliance to take down the people who have wronged him, which includes Victor and now Phyllis. Source 1.2. The deeper lie to Lily. The most devastating twist in this plot is how Kane used Lily's fragile feelings as a weapon. Every time he went to Phyllis, he was destroying his chances with Lily, which, ironically, was the only thing he truly claimed to want. When Lily caught him, his insistence that his relationship with Phyllis was genuine was the biggest lie of all. He told it not to protect Phyllis, but to push Lily away and keep her safe from the dangerous personal war he's now involved in. He is so deep in the corporate underworld that he believes the only way to protect his family is to become the villain and distance them from him. Terrible reality is this. Kane's deceit with Phyllis was calculated to save his company, but his deceit with Lily, pushing her away with a lie about his feelings for Phyllis, is his misguided attempt to save her. The collision course. Lane's devastating future. The stage is set for a dramatic collision that will define this storyline for the rest of the year. Lily's reversal. Lily's intensified feelings, fueled by a mixture of residual love, fierce jealousy, and a desperate need for the truth, will force her to stop avoiding Kane. Her initial move to expose his schemes with Victor, source 2.5, may now evolve into a risky, dangerous attempt to save him. Spoilers hinted at a change of heart about Kane, and the possibility of her agreeing to a deal with him that would betray Victor, source 1.2, 2.5. This suggests Lily may decide that the man she loves is worth the risk, and she may dive headfirst into his dangerous world to either rescue him or, perhaps more satisfyingly, one-up Victor and secure Chancellor for herself, all while Kane watches in admiration and terror. Kane's reckoning. Kane's decision to wage war on Phyllis and, by extension, Victor will have massive repercussions. His new, desperate alliance could be with anyone, Billy, Jack, or even Adam. But the one person he can't control is Lily. When Lily inevitably confronts him again, not with anger, but with a plea for the truth and a willingness to fight by his side, Kane will face his toughest choice. A. Lie again, push her away, and continue his lone wolf mission, knowing he's sacrificing his heart for her safety. B. Finally break, admit his deceit with Phyllis was a ruse, and accept Lily's help, dragging her directly into the crosshairs of the Newman Empire and the vengeful Phyllis Summers. One of the most potent spoilers suggests that actor Billy Flynn is teasing a Kane and Lily reunion he hopes fans will support. Source 1.1, 1.2, 3.2. For that reunion to be truly earned, Kane must first admit the monumental nature of his current deceit. He must confess that the night with Phyllis was a lie and that Lily is the only one he has ever wanted. Conclusion. Love and war in Genoa City. Today's news is a seismic shift in the Kane and Lily saga. Lily has finally admitted, even just to herself, that her feelings for Kane are not only alive but intensifying in the face of his worst behavior. Simultaneously, Kane's deceitful game with Phyllis has officially moved from a messy affair to a full-blown corporate war. The two storylines are on a collision course. Will Lily, driven by the rediscovery of her intense love, finally turn the tables on Victor and join forces with Kane? Or will Kane's final, desperate act of protection, the lie about his feelings for Phyllis, be the thing that breaks Lily for good, leaving him to face the fallout of his all-out war alone? The most shocking truth of all is this. Lily's love for Kane has intensified because he made himself utterly unavailable, and Kane's game has heated up because he has nothing left to lose. Get ready for a November to remember, because the war in Genoa City has just become deeply, personally, and devastatingly lame. YNR spoilers. Sienna can't say no to Victor's offer. What about Noah? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, bribed Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, and she didn't refuse it. But what about Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, whose fate she left in his own hands? Victor used Kane Ashby's stolen AI program to bankrupt Mitch Bacall, aka Matt Clark. Victor used the stolen AI software from Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, to siphon funds from Matt Clark's Roger Howarth. Company. This means Sienna also lacks some of that financial support. In Monday's episode, she encountered Victor at the hotel cafe. Her first inquiry was about how Victor managed to pull it off. He wouldn't dare disclose the extent of his power. Victor reassured Sienna that the shadow room had been taken from Matt Clark, and he would soon find himself back in jail. Sienna informed Victor that Noah had invited her to accompany him to Genoa City. She remains uncertain about how she will make the move, given her lack of funds. However, she sensed that Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, and Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, are eager for their tumultuous romance to conclude. Victor pressured Sienna with a deal. Victor presented Sienna with a proposition. He requested that she specify a price, enabling him to prepare a check. Meanwhile, Noah has already taken ownership of the shadow room. What else could he possibly desire? Sienna sensed that Victor was deliberately keeping her distanced from Noah. However, she didn't hesitate for a moment at his proposal. She accepted it without reservation, allowing Noah the freedom to make his own choices. Sienna is a strong, independent woman who takes charge of her own life. She refuses to allow anyone else to dictate her path. This indicates that Noah will have to forge his own future. Back in Sharon's hotel room, Noah informed his parents that he needed to remain in Los Angeles. Noah was the one who got Sienna into this situation, and he'll be the one to get her out. He was the one who got Sienna entangled in this situation. Now, it's up to him to devise a way to extricate her from it. Noah is convinced that returning her to Genoa City would improve the situation. However, Nick was apprehensive that Matt might track them down there. Additionally, Sienna had connections to Matt's drug operations. Despite this, Noah insisted that Sienna was completely unaware of any wrongdoing. Nick was curious about Noah's plans regarding his relationship with Aline Gwynn, Kelsey Wong. Yet Noah was reluctant to discuss his past, which ultimately influenced his future in LA. Shocking Y&R spoilers today. Sienna can't say no to Victor's offer. What about Noah? In a move that has viewers of The Young and the Restless reeling, Genoa City's most formidable patriarch, Victor Newman, has once again proven that money and power trump all, even the fragile love life of his grandson, Noah Newman. The shocking twist centers around Sienna Bacall, the woman for whom Noah put his own safety and sanity on the line. After narrowly escaping a life-threatening ordeal, Sienna is faced with an offer from the mustache himself that she simply cannot refuse, leaving the fate of her budding romance with Noah hanging in the balance. The aftermath of the Matt Clark nightmare. The entire Newman family has been on tenterhooks following the horrifying saga involving Matt Clark, also known as Mitch Bacall, Sienna's dangerous and manipulative husband. Matt, fueled by obsession, rage, and a desire for revenge, trapped Noah and Sienna in a terrifying, hostage-like situation. This entire nightmare stemmed from the affair between Noah and Sienna, a secret that had dangerously complicated Noah's time away from Genoa City. The intensity of the crisis reached a fever pitch as Sharon and Nick became desperate to find their son, finally resorting to trusting Victor's notoriously ruthless methods to outsmart Matt. True to form, Victor used his immense resources, including the controversial AI software, to strike a devastating blow. Victor successfully decimated Matt's business, transferring all his assets to a private account, ensuring Matt Clark would no longer be able to buy a cocktail, let alone run a business, and was facing a return to jail. Victor's psychological counterattack successfully shifted the power dynamic, ultimately securing Noah and Sienna's freedom. The Devil's Deal, Victor's intriguing offer. Following their rescue and a brief, tense reunion with Nick and Sharon, Victor took the opportunity to have a private, pivotal meeting with Sienna in the hotel lobby. Sienna, now without the funding previously tied to her husband's operations, was vulnerable and uncertain of her future. The conversation was vintage Victor. He warned Sienna that anyone who harms his family has to deal with him, pointedly leaving room for interpretation as to whether the warning was only for the missing Matt or for Sienna herself. Victor, with calculated precision, laid out the reality of her new financial hardship, stating she was without the means to support herself. Victor offered to compensate her, but she guessed that he was really offering her a bribe to stay away from Noah. Sienna was sharp enough to cut through the pleasantries, correctly guessing that Victor's offer to compensate her was, in fact, a bribe intended to keep her away from his grandson. Victor's motives were clear. He saw Sienna as a magnet for trouble, an assessment no doubt fueled by her association with a dangerous criminal and the drama that has enveloped his family. The details of the offer, while not fully disclosed in terms of a dollar amount, were clearly significant and undeniably life-changing for a woman now stripped of all financial stability. Victor, the master manipulator, had pulled her out of one mess only to use her vulnerability to create a new one, hoping to sever the connection between her and Noah for good. Sienna's stunning acceptance. The most shocking part of this confrontation was Sienna's response. While she acknowledged her previous commitment to not allow anyone to bully or buy her again, the stark reality of her situation, being on the run, facing the fallout of her estranged husband's crimes, and lacking any financial safety net, proved too much. Sienna didn't blink twice at his offer. She willingly accepted it. This decision, a stunning betrayal in the eyes of romantic viewers, stems from a place of deep fear and necessity. Sienna, an independent woman who calls the shots in her life, is also a woman who has just survived a harrowing ordeal. The allure of a fresh start, financial security, and an end to the immediate danger was simply too powerful, especially given the clear discomfort of Nick and Sharon regarding her relationship with Noah. By accepting the bribe, Sienna essentially chose the path of least resistance and greatest security for herself, leaving the ultimate romantic choice to Noah. What does this mean for Noah? Sienna's decision to accept Victor's compensation effectively puts the ball in Noah's court, forcing him to choose his own destiny and the future of their relationship. 1. Noah's fierce loyalty. Before Victor's manipulation, Noah was adamant that Sienna return to Genoa City with him. He felt responsible for getting her into this mess and believed that bringing her back under the Newman security umbrella was the only way to keep her safe from the still-at-large Matt. He refused to let her deal with the dangerous fallout alone, welcoming the opportunity to protect her even if it meant risking a confrontation with Matt in his hometown. Noah was adamant that Sienna was a good person who wanted nothing to do with Matt, and he maintained that Sienna knew nothing about Matt's drug dealings. This strong desire to protect Sienna speaks to the depth of his feelings, even though Nick and Sharon fear that his judgment is clouded and that he doesn't truly know her. His parents' counterargument that bringing Sienna to Genoa City would roll out the red carpet for Matt highlights the extreme risk he is taking. 2. The choice he faces. With Sienna now financially beholden to Victor and ostensibly agreeing to stay away, Noah is faced with a crushing reality. Option A. Fight Victor and save the relationship. Noah must now defy his powerful grandfather, convincing Sienna to reject the money and stand by him. This path means battling not only Victor, but also the constant looming threat of Matt Clark, who is still looking for revenge. Noah would have to convince Sienna that a life with him is worth more than the freedom and security Victor's check provides. Option B. Accept his grandfather's interference. If Noah accepts Sienna's choice, he will be heartbroken but safe. He would return to Genoa City alone, leaving Sienna to start a new life elsewhere with Victor's financial help. This outcome would certainly please Sharon and Nick, but it would leave Noah emotionally shattered and likely create a new layer of resentment toward Victor. The spoilers indicate that Victor, after his conversation with Sienna, called for the jet to be on standby to leave for Genoa City immediately. Back in the hotel room, Noah asked Sienna what she had decided about going to Genoa City. The answer, and Noah's reaction to it, will define the next chapter of his life. Noah's homecoming, new beginnings, old dangers. Regardless of the final decision regarding Sienna, Noah's return to Genoa City is confirmed and will be a major focal point. Reunions and introductions. The Newman family, including Claire, Nikki, Adam, and Chelsea, gathered at the ranch to welcome Noah home. Sharon watches Noah and Sienna connect from a distance, confirming her continued suspicion of the relationship.